So he quit.
No, he quit. What's up, brother? Good. Good. Good meeting you. You went to OU, didn't you? That's what I thought. I thought he was coach. Offensive line coach. Welcome to CampusNation.com. We are live here at Fiesta Varacruz for our Clinton County Sports Show. We would all like to thank our sponsors here tonight for the show, Muscleman Motor and Cars. They're located at 1056 West Main in Wilmington, Ohio. Go where everyone knows your name. Contact Ken Ferris or Chris Musselman at 937-366-6493. Also, Accurate Machine and Weld Company for all your steel and aluminum sales. Contact John Mashevsky at 937-584-4518. Also, Chaz's DJ service and event planning can bring music to the entire region. Chaz's does car shows, reunions, birthday parties, and other events. Contact Chaz at 937-218-2290. With us tonight, of course, Chris Weiskup here with Chad McAllister. Joining us again for this week will be Coach Killen here, head coach of Wilmington High School football, also junior defensive lineman, wide receiver Chris Custis, and also junior linebacker Dom Davison. It's good having you, fellas.
Thanks for having us.
Coach, having a struggled year this year. You guys coming on a big win. Let's walk us through a little bit. Let everybody know, how did it feel coming off, being on the downside and coming back and getting a big win.
Well, winning is good.
Yeah.
It feels a lot better than losing. No, it was good. And, one thing that I'm going to take away from the game Friday night was the kids. They had every opportunity to repeat actions of the past few weeks where something bad happens, and they didn't. They showed their fight. They showed their grit. Then they just kept chopping, and they just all of a sudden they just started to believe, and they turned to each other and played really, really well and made some key stops, and the offense got turned around, and it was great to see them succeed.
Coach, that was definitely a gut check game. It was awesome. I mean, you guys are down 13, 7 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I've been there all year. You're like kind of seen this one coming before, but
yeah. After the safety we got on the bad snap,
that was rough.
I thought, oh, here we go.
I mean, that was the most fight I've seen out of them all year. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, I agree, and it's one of those. Could this be a moment where they started drinking the Kool-Aid, as Chris Weiskup says? Is it one of those that they all of a sudden started believing in each other?
I saw a few really good holds in there too, where
Ryan Camp
snagged
had
a couple out of them.
Yeah, Ryan Camp does say he's the best holder in the state. So Friday night he probably proved that. So I'm proud of him.
Hey Chris, this is Chris Custis here. Beginning of the year, I watched you, play, through your scrimmage and watch you use that wide receiver there. You break your hand, and the big thing is, and you end up getting and have to transition there to defensive lineman. What is the transition there? And you're a defensive end. No matter what it is, you're going from DB or linebacker, wherever it is. You go from DB or linebacker to a defensive end, and I mean, what is that like, the transition there?
Well, I really never thought I'd ever play. Well, I never thought I'd play whip or defensive end. I mean, I never thought I was strong enough or whatever. But, I mean, it's a big change. Like, it's totally different. You're more hands-on. Like, you're going against some big dudes. So, I mean, yeah, it's a pretty big change from going from cornerback to defensive end or whip.
What about, it's painful, being able to be on the offensive side of the football, but also be able to help the team, with whatever you have to do. That must be cruciating, when you're catching tutties and, all the women always look at the tuts. You know what I mean? You get a tutty, women are like, oh, that's my dude. but you're going to do what you got to do to get the job done. Is that tough?
I mean, I usually just zone in during the game. Like, I don't hear anything. Just play call, then go.
It's true. Sometimes he doesn't hear anything. Just throwing that out there.
You don't hear your mom up there?
Oh, no.
She's awful loud.
I
I hear Jamie too, though. All right, Coach, guy like Chris here, he's got just a ton of versatility. He's a good athlete. It's kind of nice to have a guy that you can play in the secondary spot and then move up the defensive line all in the same season.
Yeah, and the big thing about Chris is, and both of these guys, and I'll get into both of them here in a second. But I asked Chris, we play D-line? Sure. Then he broke his finger, and I'm like, well, crap. He goes, I'll be fine. I'll play. And and a lot of times he says
his
that.
finger then.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry.
But like sometimes you have the moms, and the mom, and his mom was texting me. He's fine to good. He's good to go. And I'm like, okay, this is amazing. So he can't play receiver, but he can play defensive end. And there's been some challenges with the transition. But Chris is finally. I think last Friday night was his best game. I think because he finally kind of let loose and let his athleticism take over. And he wasn't a robot. I mean, you had a key sack there on, I think it was a third down sack, which was huge. And you watch it on film and watch the movie put on, and I'm pretty sure that we didn't teach it. It was just, he just kind of let his athletic instincts take over and boom. But Chris is one of those kids, he just doesn't care. He'll do whatever he has to do for the team. Answer for that question, I'm pretty sure I'd be willing to be winning the Mega Millions here coming up.
I'm winning that. We'll be rich together.
Yeah, we'll fight over it.
Yeah, we'll fight. I'll give you something.
But the thing with Dom is Dom's exactly right. He wants to win. And sometimes I have to reel him in because when things aren't going his way, he gets so down. And sometimes I got to grab him and be like, dude, we got to go. You can't get in this hole because it's harder to get out of the hole once you get into it. And I think that's a lot of some of the issues we faced this year. But as you saw Friday night in the fourth quarter, we were out of the hole. And so I'm hoping that there's a transition. And the thing with Dom, and we have a lot of players that, and there's one sitting over here, Austin Brummett. It's like they sit there and they don't care. They just want to do whatever they can for the team. And Dom's one of those. He went from safety. Like, Dom, I need a linebacker. Okay, Coach, I'll play linebacker. He's like, what do I do? I'm like, just fill. He's like, okay, I got it. And then he's like, can I play nose? I'd love to play nose. I'm like, well, and then today he finally got down at nose, and he's pretty quick. It's what these guys are just great examples, and our seniors are great examples of what we need from the younger guys. Put everything to the side. What do I have to do? What is my role to help the team? And you can look down the line, from Mason McIntosh playing quarterback. He can play running back. He can play slot. He can play outside. That's huge. He can play multiple positions on defense. Austin Brummett from center, to defensive end, to linebacker, to Dom playing linebacker, to safeties, to Chris playing wide receiver, safety, to defensive end. We have multiple kids like that. We got Connor Mitchell, wide receiver, fullback, tailback, linebacker. So we need more of that from the younger guys. Once we all get on that same page and it's not about me, it's all about the we, we're going to be in a pretty good situation in the future.
Now, you're not ever going to get away from this.
Here we go.
Live here, you're coming in
Let's
and
go.
playing Clinton-Massie. Place you did, and we're going to talk about it this week, so that's fine. So you're playing Clinton-Massie this week. I know for a fact.
Careful.
You don't want to talk too much about it, but
And I won't.
The thing is, what do you expect from Clinton-Massie this coming week?
Well, they're not going to do anything different than what is on film and what they're known for. They're going to line up and they're going to smash mouth football. They're going to try to slow the game down and limit our touches on offense. That's why it comes down to our defense getting off the field as quickly as we can to give our offense chances. And the thing with Clinton-Massie is they're very good in all three phases: special teams, offense, and defense. So offense, we have to win third down. If we win third down, we have a pretty good shot. And then offensively, we know they're going to bring pressure. They're going to give us a couple play in the second half, which we haven't done. You look back at our losses, we have not played the second half. But those kids took ownership of the defense and of the situation, and then all of a sudden you saw a little bit of confidence out there. Defense was cheering on offense was cheering on defense. Our sidelines, the kids that were sitting there freezing their butts off, they were into the game. Our fans, I think our fans were in the game. I was too busy.
I heard a few cowbells up there.
You heard a few of them. That's awesome. But I'm hoping as we move forward in this week and in the future that we get more of that. Because it's not about, and once again, it's not about what happens on the field so much as the enthusiasm that not only the team, the guys that are on the sideline watching, and also our fans can bring to the game. Our fans and our sidelines don't realize how much energy they can provide for the guys that are on the field battling. If they just hear the positivity and the enthusiasm and stuff, it gets them going. And I think it was just a perfect situation with the storm that came in on Friday night, and I'm just super proud.
One that I want to mention real quick, that a picture I saw this week. I saw the Rockhold boys hugging after that game. I never thought I'd ever see those boys like that before, but it was pretty awesome to see, two big old mean kids. I mean, they're tough boys, and they're hugging on the sideline. That was awesome to me. I was like,
yeah, according to their mom and other people, that was the first time it's ever happened. So
it was pretty cool, though.
But yeah, and here's the thing: that Jackie Frazier did an amazing job on capturing that moment. And there were so many other moments. I know Dom and I, we hugged. I'm not going to repeat what Dom said, but I mean, we hugged, and I mean, there was a lot of hug because it was just one of the situations where like we pulled through, and we got over that hump. That I think there is probably some doubt in a lot of people, including myself. Not even gonna lie, that here we go again, and but we got over that, and hopefully now, it just clicks. We had a great practice today, so hopefully it just continues on.
Dom, what's it been like being in the SBAC for you? And I've noticed you guys played over the years. You've played in the SCOL. What's the change in the players, the kids, the strengths, the weaknesses, things that you've faced against these kids? Are they faster, stronger, bigger? How do you feel?
Definitely a lot more talent, speed, strength, bigger boys. We've been facing the same teams for I don't know how long.
Oh yeah.
And we did pretty solid throughout there, but honestly, I'd rather face the talent, get better.
What'd you say to Coach Kellen after the game? I love you, man.
Can't
Is that
say
what
that.
you said? Okay, we won't say it on Campus Nation, so we're good. So
Next question.
Okay, next question. So you're going back to Clinton-Massie.
Not where we want to be, but that's the reality of it. Our goal is to finish 5-5. Now, talk about huge momentum for next year. If huge, because there's some pretty cool coaches out there that have done a lot of great things, and Lou Holt said, the goal is to always win your last game. Well, here's our last game, and our goal is to win it. Okay, so that's me jumping around answering your question.
All right, but it's fine, and I understand, and you always come back with a way to bounce back, and and that's the thing this week, and having these guys having you as a coach. You always know how to make something better.
Well, I would like to think I'm there, but
I think you're doing a great job.
And here's another thing, the way they prepare is all that matters to me. If we prepare the right way, we're going to put ourselves in a great situation to be successful. Okay, the biggest thing is for these kids is they have to believe. It's not about talking about it. It's about being about it. They have to take the field with the belief that no matter what, they're going to leave it all on the field. And at the end, if they do every single play go as hard as they can, every single play, in the end, it will be about us. And then we can enjoy it. But once again, it's about the process. Now, beating Clinton, it would probably be like anybody else that beats Clinton-Massie. It's going to be like the biggest game ever, and
there you go.
so I want these kids to enjoy that and experience it.
Well, Coach Chris, Dom, Coach Killen, I appreciate having you on. This is CampusNation.com. Next up will be Wilmington College. You guys, good luck this week. Hope you guys win. I'll be there and cheering it on. So thank you guys so
Thanks
much.
for having us.
All right. So it's CampusNation.com here, live here at Fiesta Varacruz. Like to thank our sponsors. Musselman Motor Cars. They are located at 1056 West Main in Wilmington, Ohio. Go where everyone knows your name. Contact Ken Ferris or Chris Musselman at 937-366-6493. Accurate Machine and Weld Company. For all your steel and aluminum sales, contact John Mashevsky, 937-584-4518. Also, the Brett Whiteman Foundation. Run or Walk, November 10th, 2018. Race starts at 8:30. Entry fees for pre-registers is $30 and $35 after October 31st. Breakfast is 8.
Knowing where they're supposed to be at the right times. To where last week we saw in the Marietta game, we were consistently getting those guys growing up, and now they're getting in the right spots, but not able to make a play now. And I think what you saw within a week's time is, again, guys in the right spots to make plays, but now making them. And I think that's, we talked all year long how young we were and that we had to grow up in a hurry, and it was going to take some time to grow up, and we're starting to see, and not just our freshmen, but some guys that are playing some roles for the first time in their career, starting to settle into them and be more comfortable playing faster. In that game, really, there were some big moments right at the end of the first half where, I think we were down 2 scores going into the half. We were getting the ball back with about a minute to go, and we were going to get the ball coming out of halftime as well, so we were doubling up. Really, we wanted to be smart, and if we got good field position, we were going to be aggressive. If we didn't get good field position, we were just going to run the clock out, get the half, and take the ball in the second half. And they kicked the ball deep, and Luke Richardson really made a bad decision of not fair catching the thing and shouldn't have brought it out of the end zone. But the kid's a playmaker. It's hard to tell that kid sometimes, hey, don't make a play. So he got there and made a couple guys miss, got the ball out to the 40-yard line. Then we put the ball in another freshman's hands in DJ Chambers, and he took that thing to the house and put us down, shoot 8 points there, and getting the ball to start the second half. So as far as a momentum swing, we were pretty content going in and ended up stealing a score right there, and I think that really lifted everybody's spirits going in of, shoot, we're getting a ball, and we're only down 1 score, and that kind of led to a lot of momentum in the second half, a lot of big plays defensively in the second half.
Now, Coach, this may have been your most well-rounded game as far as offense, defense, special teams, all contributed, all played it well at times. You had key turnovers.
Yeah.
You're able to finish drives, some big passing plays. Like you said, the big run right before halftime. The turnovers right when it looked like the game may have gotten totally out of control. You guys were able to come up with a big turnover to keep you in the ball game. The onside kick right towards the end. It just, if that game would have gone 5 more minutes, you guys probably would have won it.
I felt like that. Definitely. I think our kids felt like that too. Is we played good enough to win that thing in the second half. If we'd have played that well, especially defensively in the first half, played that hard, and we're making the plays in the first half that they were making the second half, that's a little bit different ball game. But yeah, there was that moment there where they were really looking to punch one in on the 1 yard, first and goal on the 1 yard line, and what probably would have deflated us at that point. And another young kid, Roy Washington, came off the edge, a true freshman, making his 3rd college start, and scraped the edge, got his hat on the ball, and sophomore scooped it up. And then from there, we got momentum. Voley picked one off, and we capitalized, turned that one into a touchdown, and then got that onside kick and scored off of that and gave ourselves a chance. So, yeah, it was just a whirlwind of a second half of every play we had to make, we made. And, it's certainly a lot of the kids making those plays are all kids that are going to be back next year.
Now, we are 2 for 2 now that you've brought a receiver on here, and they've scored a touchdown pass. Did he get a little fire?
I was dropping back, and I saw the quarterback kind of stepping up and rolling out a little bit. And I saw the receiver out the corner of my eye coming, so I moved over just a little bit. At the time, I didn't think like, oh, I'm gonna pick it off. I thought I would just get in the way, and he threw it right to me. And I actually almost dropped it, to be honest with you, but I bobbled it, caught it, and I put 2 hands on that thing. I'm like, I'm not fumbling. That's the first thing I thought.
Did you go straight to the ground, or were you looking to take it to the house?
If I was faster, I would have took it to the house, but the receiver got me right away, so I was like, I'm going to just hold on to it, not fumble it.
What do you expect out of you this year, junior, senior year? You coming back ready to rock and roll? What are you going to leave for these kids as freshman, sophomore? What are you going to do to change this? Because Coach Moore and has, everybody on the same page. What are you going to do as a junior, going to be a senior, to change this culture and help change it and bring home, to make this program better?
I mean, I try to always have a positive attitude and just be energetic and fun during practice. There's sometimes I think people, kind of like, oh, they're dragging, and I'm just trying to be funny, be me, and get everybody lightened up and just keep them working, keep them motivated, and let them know that we're not gonna keep losing. We're gonna start winning at some point, and we're gonna have fun doing it.
Coach, you're coming here from OU. Last year you played there, obviously been a part, talked about Trent Smart, Trent. What is the difference here? You're going to a Division III, coaching from playing, and going into one of the toughest leagues, the OAC, at Division III, college level. What is the difference there from playing to coaching, and what do you have to offer for the kids?
Well, I think the biggest difference is really developing patience to be able to coach guys. It's different when you're playing. When you want things done, you can get them done right now. You're a player. But when you start to coach kids, it's a different level of patience that you have to be able to teach kids certain techniques and things that you have to do to play the game right. As far as coaching intensity, it's the exact same. And that's one of the things that drew me here, was that it didn't matter what division it was. These coaches are still out there coaching, doing their jobs as hard as they possibly can. Really, I think it all boils down to every level has good coaches. It's really just the passion that they bring to the game every single day. That's what's going to get the players all in line and get them to buy into their goals and things like that. And I just think we really had it here. And those are the similarities. And that is part of the difference, but it's really a similarity between the two programs.
Coach Moore, getting back to you a little bit, we talk about this quite often, but same old story. You look at the box score, and I see freshman this, freshman that. How are the young guys coming along? You feel like the season's going well as far as developing some of your kids?
Yeah, I think the first thing you worry about, my wife will let me work in there at night, and that's every day. That's been every day since I was a player and as a coach. So that's never going to change. And the players will sense that, and they feel that, and they feel that out of all of our coaches. But we show them we love them. We show them we care about them. And that's why we have them over our houses. That's why we try to get those guys to connect to us. The right kids will stay. That's the bottom line. The kids that buy into what we're doing, whether they have any ability or not, whether they're a starter this year or whether they're a developmental guy right now, the guys that get it, the guys that see the real part of this thing and this rebuild, they'll be back. They'll fight to get back. And the guys that don't buy in and all that kind of stuff, yeah, we don't have time to waste on that. We'll recruit another batch of kids that'll come and compete, and we'll sort through them to find the right guys and all that kind of stuff. So it's not something you sit and stress about, because you treat the kids the right way. It's not a deal of, well, that kid's really good, but man, maybe his coach doesn't treat him well or something. It's not one of those deals where if a kid ain't coming back, he probably just isn't the right kid in the first place.
Coach, we were talking to Coach Killen from the high school earlier.
Yeah.
And they had probably their toughest win of the season, right? They've had a rough season. They're 4-5 at this point. Their wins have pretty much been blowouts, other than this past one was, it was a dogfight.
Right.
It was the first one they got into one, and it came down to the last drive of the game.
Yep.
And they pulled one off as a team. Do you feel like you guys are at that point where you need to win that type of game just to get the ball rolling just on into the next season, the off season.
These are big 3 weeks for us. There's no doubt about it. Like I think it don't matter whether we go 3-0 the next 3 weeks or 0-3 the next 3 weeks. I think there's enough there for kids to see what we're going to become here down the road. So I don't feel like I'm not in jeopardy of losing this team or anything like that. But yeah, you need one. There's no doubt about it. It does kind of. Even just this game this last weekend, just having that opportunity to beat a ranked opponent on your home field and having control of that game at some points, it rejuvenizes kids. Right now it's a lot of faith on their end, a lot of faith on my words and my actions without results. Without, hey, I believe in this guy, but we're not winning. And eventually that'll run out if you don't have some proof behind it. And I think that's why getting one of those 3 and the last one's huge. You get all 3 of them, be fantastic. But just momentum-wise, just obviously going into recruiting, going into the offseason and all that kind of stuff to scratch one together here at the end of the season is enormous.
I think you got a kid down over there, man.
Yeah. Oh, they're tough kids. They'll get up. They'll bounce up.
Hey, bro, what do you plan to do in your future? You plan on sticking around here? You plan on going, back home where you're from? What do you plan to do here?
I definitely plan on sticking around here and want to make this coaching thing kind of my career. I really enjoy my job every day. I enjoy the impact I get to have on young kids. So this is something I definitely want to do for the rest of my working years.
Now, what's the relationship here differently? Like I said earlier, what's the relationship with the coaches up at OU where you went to school to here, and how you see like a close-knit? Like Coach Moore, him and Coach Philly, they're real tight. They're close. Just walk us through that. How you feel.
I think the reason why our staff and our team is so close-knit is because Coach Moore lets everybody be themselves. And
exactly.
When you don't try to suppress somebody's attitude, then they can't be themselves, and then they kind of want to get away from that. They don't feel like they're being themselves. When people are comfortable being themselves to everyone around them, you start to like people for their actual selves, and people just get close that way.
Aaron, listen to Coach talk here, and he's new here too. Coach is new here too. You've been around. What do you think about it? And just Coach Philly on the defense side of football. How important is he to the staff there?
He's very important. He's a defensive coordinator, very smart. He puts together a game plan every week. We have not like a complete different scheme, but enough where it is built to stop whatever opponent we're playing. And when you look at it on the board, you're like, we're gonna stop them. You know what I mean? And it just comes down to us having to execute the defense correctly. But he's very smart. He'll get on us if we're not doing the right thing, but he lets us be ourselves. Like I said, I'm trying to be fun, goofy, and he lets me be like that, so I appreciate it a lot.
Your major is, again?
Education.
Education, what part?
Middle childhood for social studies and math.
4 through 9?
Yeah.
That's what I figured. Still over at Wilmington there, I went to Wilmington College too as well. It's still, you go 4 years. Most of it, you got to get your master's. Mm-hmm. Over at Wright State, Ohio State, anywhere you got to get your master's, but there's still that same form, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do after school? Where do you plan? You plan on going back home where you're from to coach? It's